listening to the Nerdy Harry podcast. The Nerdy Harry.
You know what? I got that.
Watching the Nerdy Harry channel.
Hi, Nerdy Harry.
You're watching the Nerdy Harry channel.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Nerdy Harry channel. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Joey.
Hey guys, welcome to, can you believe it's Joey? 2 weeks in a row we've done a show.
This is amazing. Miracles do happen. Like I need Al Michaels in the background.
So this is great. We've got, I don't know, a lot to talk to, but now Walking Dead we have a lot of to talk about. And I wanted to throw an interesting, not theory, but viewpoint of The Walking Dead right now, because I know you'll love this. This is going to be awesome for you, I think. But that being said, how are you doing, Joey?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
Played golf today. Lovely day.
9 holes, 18?
9.
9, right, yeah. It's been years since I've played, and it's like the most stressful, relaxing thing you can possibly do. Is the way
It was very relaxing today. I played by
myself.
That's good. And it was a beautiful day today.
Oh, man, that's true. It was a great day for golf. But, all right, let's move on to the nerdy stuff. Let's get started. First things first, Walking Dead mid-season premiere. What'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm glad we got back on the train, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now we can move on to bigger and better things. Things that I've predicted in the past that I think will happen. You can start seeing the groundwork being laid for that now.
Yeah, it's nice to see Rick and the crew on the upswing. You know what I mean? It's cool how things are kind of coming together. Let's go ahead and kind of go through some things that I'd like to talk to you about on the Walking Dead episode. So at the beginning of the episode, we've got Gabriel looking over and doing his guard duty, which is actually a continuation from the night of the mid-season finale, which is kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that's true. This is still the same night for them. And then out of nowhere, Gabriel goes to the stock room silently at first. You hear this loud clanging, and then he starts throwing everything into this box. What do you think's going on, Joey?
Well, he's obviously stolen the food for whatever reason. Of course, later on in the show we kind of get a better idea of what's going on. But my thing is how is he hooked up with these people? What's going on? Is that why he's feeding them? Is so that they will help, because he knows that, hey, we're going to need help to fight the Saviors. So I'm interested to see where that storyline goes, because we've wondered who the guy with the boot was at the boat. All we saw was just his boot with like electric wire, tying them together, or tying them up. So, yeah, I mean, it's and
I think it's pretty obvious the guy in the car is our boot guy with the binoculars, right?
Probably, yeah. And it was kind of freaky too, because I actually had to go back and rewind it. As Gabriel starts driving off, you see this head. He's a hooded head, and I'm like, "What? Did I actually see that?" So I went backwards a little bit. I rewound it just a few seconds. I was like, "Okay, yeah,
right."
It wasn't just like a shadow or something. It was somebody in the car with him,
right?
So he knows who they are.
Yeah. So this is my next question, though. Going back to Gabriel going to the stockroom, he goes in there quietly. Then you hear a loud boom. Do you think it's possible that maybe Gabriel was jumped or is being held hostage? Because he goes in there quietly, which is, no big deal. And then you hear this loud boom. That's when he starts bringing all the stuff into the boxes. Like, okay, all of a sudden now he's in a hurry. So do you think this guy may have got into Alexandria and now he's got possibly Gabriel?
It's possible, yeah. That would explain how he's tied to these people when Gabriel never ever leaves the compound, really.
Exactly. Gabriel's been like one of the foundations for Alexandria. And
he's been hiding stuff, hiding weapons, hiding food,
Yeah.
and not telling anybody.
I know.
I mean, I don't even know if Rick knows. I mean, I don't think Rick does know that he's hid all this stuff. So
Yeah.
He'll take a pistol, or he'll take a rifle, or he'll take some food, and he'll dig a hole and find it. And I think that's what that little map was that he was looking at in his notebook, was where he's got everything hid.
Yeah, good point.
On the property.
Yeah.
You know, so that way they can go back and find it later on when they need to.
That's pretty smart. I've been really impressed what they've done with Gabriel, because I didn't think he was going to be much of a character at first.
Yeah.
And man, they've really established him as a good character. I root for Gabriel now.
Yeah, me too. And going back to his notebook, you know, as far as that too, you know. Now, one thing that makes me think he didn't get jumped, though, was why did he have written in the very back, boat or whatever, or the boat?
It's a good question.
How did he write that if he got jumped?
I don't think he did write it. I think the guy wrote boat because he seen them at the boat and knew that Rick and them would see that.
And draw them in.
Yeah.
Which it did.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Now, that's just a thing I'm thinking about. I could be wrong on that. But it was really cool start to the mid-season premiere. Now, let's get on to the hilltop. We go to the hilltop now. Gregory's there. Rick's trying to convince Gregory and the hilltop to join them in their fight against Negan. Boy, Gregory's pretty good at being hated. He does a good job.
Oh, I can't wait for the day that Gregory gets eaten by zombies, because you know what's going to happen. He's
yeah.
going to go out. He's going to die a very terrible,
and I'm hoping
slow death.
Maggie takes care of him too.
Probably,
you know.
Yeah.
So I have an interesting theory that I heard in a YouTube video this week. I believe it's through Screen Rant. And I think you will love this, but I could be wrong. But I'm going to throw this out there to you because I really enjoyed this and because I knew that you would. In the scene where Gregory is talking with Rick and his crew there, he says they're asking if the hilltop would join him. He said, "Look, the hilltop people are nothing but a bunch of sorghum farmers. A farmer platoon." And what was interesting in that scene, it shows a picture of George Washington in the background. Now, George Washington is a farmer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm wondering, do you think that Rick is essentially the American side of what was going on with the American Revolution? Negan is the Great Britain of it. He's taking all the things that they want. You know, you got the taxes and coming to get whatever they want. Rick's trying to get all the colonies, the 13 colonies, to join them in their freedom.
Join or die.
Join or die. And even Daryl says, you're either with us or you ain't, you know, which is interesting as well, that they threw that in there. And also, even later on, Rick goes to King Ezekiel in the same way that America went to King Louis XVI and was trying to get France to, hey, help us out here.
At first.
Yeah, right. So what do you think about that? I thought that was a really interesting...
Well, me being a history buff, I do enjoy that theory. I wouldn't go as far as, the George Washington thing, I wouldn't put Rick in the George Washington framework, because really George Washington wasn't the revolutionary. Well, he was just the guy that they picked. But that being said, it's an easier thing for most people to understand, because most people aren't me. They're not like geeks on history and stuff like that. So, I could see that, and that's just a little subtle imagery in the background.
Yeah, and that's what I took it as.
But they're like John Hancock and John Adams and, Samuel Adams, and they're all these revolutionaries, who say, the heck with the British, or the heck with Negan and the Saviors. Let's take them out, and they're more overzealous. Maggie can be in that fold. Yeah. Because Maggie now is extremely overzealous, know. And hey, maybe the deaths of Abraham and Glenn could have been this group's Boston Massacre.
Very true.
What they used to motivate everyone else. Yeah. Because they did tell King Ezekiel and what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Morgan. Hey, they died, and he beat them to death with a bat. And you can just see the look on Morgan's face. Even though he doesn't really go along with their idea at first, Morgan will go along with their idea. He has shown he's capable of killing again when it is needed. And he'll eventually go along with it, just like King Ezekiel will.
And what's interesting, too, is that not all the colonies were all in on going against Great Britain. And so that's what Rick's dealing with right now, I think, also, too, that some people are in, some people aren't. He's trying to help them see that, look, if we get our freedom here, like he's telling Ezekiel, if we get our freedom, there's going to be good things ahead for us.
Well, if you want to go on that route, then like the kingdom of South Carolina, in historical reference because they did not want to fight the British. And then you can say that the hilltop is kind of like New York. Like New York wants to fight. Some people in New York wanted to fight, but then there's some that didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, it took New York getting taken over by the British for them to say, you know what? We're just not going to be against it. We'll just abstain from voting for a Declaration of Independence. And that's really what happened. So, I mean, and of course, finally, South Carolina did join the fight as well because they knew that they would just be. See, a lot of people don't know that. That's why it was such a significant thing during the Civil War when South Carolina seceded. South Carolina was the last one to join the revolutionary cause. And they always had this independent mindset that, hey, if we don't like what we're seeing, we can just get out. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't have to be in this partnership anymore, which is all that we were at that time. So, yeah, you're seeing that. And I'm still interested to see what the Oceanside community, how they, you know, eventually Tara will have to tell them, you know, hey, by the way, I know where we've got like a stockpile of weapons that we can just go and obliterate Negan and them. But right now we need an army. Mm-hmm. And so right now they're building the army.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wanted to share that theory with you. I see some things that make a lot of sense with that. That maybe they don't mean it, but I think there's something to that, and I know you would kind of appreciate the historical value to that.
Well, I mean, hey, what are we really doing here? Are we fighting zombies right now, or are we trying to rebuild the country again? Little by little, you know, they want to rebuild society.
Yeah.
And they're going to, I mean, eventually one day, we'll never see this probably in the story, but eventually one day these are going to be the new founding fathers of the United States of America again, probably, or whatever we end up calling it.
Yep, that's true. Very true. Okay, so moving on. Rick and Michonne car walker kill. What'd you think of that? Pretty creative.
That was pretty awesome. I liked it. Now, of course, it worked out way too well.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's like, come on, man. I mean, like the cars are perfectly positioned away, and the zombies come exactly right where you need them to come. But you know what? I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, for the show, it was pretty awesome.
And you know, one thing I thought about after the fact was those zombies aren't dead.
Yeah.
Because all they do is cut them in half.
Yeah.
You know,
very true. There's just a bunch of heads.
They're just going to crawl
bottoms
around,
and heads.
You know.
That's very true. Okay. So, ending. Rick and his group are surrounded by another group. Rick smiles. Why is he smiling? What's your theory?
Because he's like, baby, this is the cavalry.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these people. These people know how to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why.
And they've got weapons.
And they have weapons, you know, and he's like, yes. I don't know why we're here. I don't know what the heck is going on. But all he sees is opportunity, not danger, not an enemy. He sees opportunity because they don't know who these people are, but they know they're not the saviors.
Yeah.
Because if they were the saviors, they would be dead.
I wonder if he's smiling because he sees Gabriel.
I thought that too originally, but the smile wasn't like a, hey, I'm glad to see you, because, you know, in a sense, you got to be thinking, why would he be smiling if it was Gabriel? Because right now, wouldn't he be a little PO to Gabriel? For whatever reason, like, why are you here with these people?
Unless you're seeing it from your perspective that you were saying earlier. Yes, Gabriel knows these people, and maybe we can use them. So you can definitely see it either way. That was my thought. I thought this is probably Gabriel that he's seen. He's like, okay, cool. We're not fixing to be killed because we see somebody we know here. But I thought it was a good mid-season premiere. It was good to see them on the upswing, and I'll say this. It was kind of nice to get a little break from Negan to see them not be so tortured.
Yeah, I like Negan radio, you know. I mean, that was cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's cool they got so close to the compound, you know, to where the Saviors, their main headquarters.
Yeah, it's nice to see the highway scenes again. It reminds me a lot of the season 2 or season 1, season 2-ish. And I like that. I like seeing them outside of the communities, you know. And I love. Of course, I love Atlanta, or I love Georgia and how it looks out there, the scenery, because it's familiar to us, especially if you live here in Tennessee. So, that being said, are you excited for the next episode?
Absolutely, man. You know, I mean, like I've said, if you just got to bear with it, man, you had to let the story evolve, and the story is evolving into bigger and better things for those who don't know what's coming, because I kind of have an idea. Because, I mean, they followed the story the last couple seasons to a
Mm-hmm. Well, they even did some dialogue from the comic book that was the exact same as they did when Rick met Ezekiel the other day in the mid-season premiere. What he says about when him and Jesus are talking, he's like, oh, by the way, he's got that, like, that's I think word by word verbatim as the comic. And so I mean, they're definitely, like you said, they're going with the comics right now. So yeah, I thought it's a great way to start the season, and I'm excited for more, man. So
Yeah, me too.
all right, so moving on. Okay, so now we're away from The Walking Dead here. Let's talk about some other nerd stuff. I think, to me, one of the biggest things that's a big storyline for the week. Batman has a director. So what do you think? You want to kind of talk about him?
Well, I mean,
Matt Reeves. Obviously.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is the guy. I hope this is a good hire. I mean, he's well respected. He's a young and up and comer in a sense. So yeah, I mean, I hope that it works out. They need new vision there. Zack Snyder has, like I said last week, he's starting to stink up the joint, in my opinion, and they need new ideas, fresh perspectives. If the rumors are true, then yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the script is good. Of course, there's still rumors that Affleck wants out, regardless if he is Batman this time or not.
And I want to get to that too here in a few minutes.
Done. I mean, probably because Warner Brothers, I'll just go ahead and say it, Warner Brothers are idiots. The people who run that studio have no idea what they have. They have found unobtainium and do not know what to do with it. You know what I mean? I mean, they found the most precious metal in the universe and they don't know what to do with it. And that's what they have with the DC Comics universe. And there's some people that understand that, but the powers that be there won't allow it to happen. That's what Marvel changed. Marvel allowed people who cared about the stories to say, look, give us a chance. Let us do Iron Man the way we want to do Iron Man. The way
trust us.
Just trust us. If we're wrong, fire us.
Yeah.
And it worked, and now look what you have with the Marvel Universe. DC, I don't want DC to be like Marvel. Because DC's not Marvel. That's why I like DC better, because I always liked the way that universe was set up.
Me too.
But you give a guy like Matt Reeves and say, look, take this script, take this cast, mold it, make it a great movie for us. If you don't, we'll find somebody else that'll do it next time. But we're giving you the trust. You got all the money in the world, so don't worry about that. But see, I think that putting $250 million into a movie isn't always the way you make a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things. Let's take The Matrix, for instance. We were talking about that the other day. The first one was so good because it was fresh, it was new, but it's because they didn't just pour tons of money into the CGI. They only used CGI where they needed it.
Yeah.
And the grittiness and the realistic version, look of it is what made that movie better, because in the next two, when they poured tens of millions of dollars into it, just changed the whole look and feel of the movie. And I think we need to go back to that. I think we should go back to that Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises sort of perspective. Those were big blockbusters, obviously, but that had more to do with the locations, I think, than it did anything, and the actors that was in it. But they felt better. See, that's one thing I didn't like about the Dark Knight Rises, was the fact that it looked like he was trying too hard, and I'm like, what's going on with this big bomb? And I mean,
it kind of felt like they were, even though I do like the Dark Knight Rises, it kind of felt like, okay, let's just wrap this up. Let's wrap this saga up.
Well, because when Heath Ledger died, it screwed the whole story up.
Right.
And he had to come up, because Heath Ledger was going to be the villain again in the third one. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And it was going to be Batman and the Joker again, and maybe bring in Bane as a secondary character. Well, now they had to rewrite it, and it just never did work.
Right. Okay, so and those of you, if you don't know who Matt Reeves has directed Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes that's fixing to come out, which looks really good also. But a rumor I read today, and this could be, and it kind of goes back to what you were talking about with Ben Affleck. Some sources have thrown out there that possibly recasting Joker, as well as even Ben Affleck. Because Matt Reeves would kind of want to just be like, let me make it mine. Trust me, like you said, and let me get my people in here. And I was wondering what you thought of that. Would you be okay with?
Well, I hadn't heard the rumor, but I mean, I think that's. I wouldn't be against it. I'm okay with Ben Affleck staying on as Batman, but
me too.
I do believe the Joker needs to be recast. The Joker shouldn't be a new modern take on it as much as what they made him in this.
I noticed Jared's not even really talking about it anymore.
I just don't
he
think
was
he
pushing
cares.
hard. Yeah,
I mean, he's just like, whatever.
But I couldn't blame him though. The way they did him in Suicide Squad, I could see the frustration that I thought I was going to be kind of a focal point. I'm the freaking Joker, man.
They cut half his scenes.
I know.
I don't blame him for that.
I just wonder if maybe he sees the writing on the wall that Okay, maybe I'm done with it. And
it's very possible.
I personally, I didn't mind him in Suicide Squad, but I'd rather have another Joker. Like you said, I don't want a modern Joker. I want
Ledger's as modern as it gets.
Yeah.
But Ledger was still the epitome of what the Joker is.
Mm-hmm.
He still had the scars. He still had, he. I know in the comic books the Joker didn't have facial scars and all that. I know that. Okay. But he was scarred in the comic books, especially the evil, not the comic campy version, but the one that you got in the 60s and 70s, when they recreated the Joker, so to speak.
And I thought Heath Ledger captured the love story, almost the love story of Batman Joker. Like, yes. I need you, you need me. Like, we can do this forever. Like he says at the end,
Yes. He's like, he tells me, he's like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Why do I want to kill you?
That is the Joker. That is the whole purpose of the Joker. And that's the Joker I love when...
It's yin and yang.
Yeah, absolutely. Back and forth. And so, I'm excited for Matt Reeves. I love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I liked Cloverfield. It makes me excited to see War for the Planet of the Apes because of what he did on Dawn. And so, I'm all for it, man. If as long as, like you said, as long as DC trusts him, let him do the movie.
Well, he's already approved he can make a dark movie because the Planet of the Apes movie is a dark movie. I've actually watched it. I'm not a big Planet of the Apes fan.
I'm not either, but I enjoyed Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
It's got that grittiness. It's got that realistic look to it. Yeah, there's a lot of CGI in it because of the apes, But I mean, other than that. But it looked good. It looked realistic. And then yet it's still got this grittiness, because real life is gritty.
Yeah, and what's cool is he didn't go cast a bunch of names for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and made a good movie.
Yeah.
So maybe we can trust, Warner Brothers, trust Matt Reeves, let him do what he wants. I don't even care if you recast Batman. Now, me personally, I like Ben Affleck as Batman, but I just want them, like you said, to trust the director and the direction he wants to go. So, sticking with directors, Joey, you posted this the other day on Facebook. This was mind-blowing to me when I seen this. Mel Gibson possibly is in talks and has confirmed that he is talking with DC and Warner Brothers about directing Suicide Squad 2. What do you think?
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And this is
finally somebody with some sense.
Because, I mean, let's stop and think about it for a second, okay? Name me a Mel Gibson directed movie that was bad.
I can't. Not all of them.
I've not seen every one he's ever done.
Apocalypto was amazing, and I didn't think I'd like that movie at all.
Passion of the Christ, as good as
that's the only thing I've never seen. I've never
watched Passion.
No, I've never seen it.
You only want to watch it once.
Yeah,
it's brutal. But let me tell you something. If you want a realistic take on the crucifixion of Christ, then he.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty intense.
It's as close as you can get.
Right.
I haven't seen. What's the new one he did?
That's the only one I haven't seen. Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge. But they say it's excellent.
Oscar nominated.
But they say it's almost too brutal because it's so realistic.
Braveheart, obviously. Yeah. The Man Without a Face is actually a good movie as well.
Yes, it was a good movie.
Did that have Elijah Wood?
Yes, I believe.
Okay, I can't remember if he was in that.
Well, no, he was in Forever Young with him, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Well, who was? Anyways, it doesn't matter. But still, it was a good movie. It was a Mel Gibson directed movie, and people I've read. Look, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Usually, we don't go too much into like controversial topics. I'm quite aware of Mel Gibson's past.
Oh, he's anti-Semitic. And he doesn't like Jewish people.
And the stupid things that he's said and done in the past, even to his wife as well.
Yes.
But I'm talking about as a director, okay? Look, for all we know, half these actors and actresses are snorting cocaines off little kids' rear ends that are prostitutes.
Yeah.
But we don't see that, you know what I mean?
Know it.
Exactly. And so it's just mind-blowing to me how Hollywood is. Because, look at Roman Polanski. He's this amazing director, that everybody loves.
Who likes little girls.
Yeah, and people praise him, but now Mel Gibson is in talks with him. How dare them even think? I'm like, I don't care. I just want a good director.
Mel Gibson didn't run from it.
Yeah,
I'll say that. He owned up to it. He said, "Look, I shouldn't have said what I said. I do feel the way I feel, but I was intoxicated. I was upset, and I said some things I shouldn't have said."
Yeah, and I'm not here to defend.
I'm not either.
We're not defending.
But I mean, you showed me a perfect person, and I mean,
absolutely.
Then,
thank you very much.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We all have prejudices in our own rights in some ways. We all have had those feelings before. So let's don't act like we haven't. But that being said, I don't feel the same way he does.
I'm just excited for the fact that they're getting a legitimate, possibly a legitimate director.
I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. And I think...
And the actors would love to act for him.
I know. Because people say so much stuff about Clint Eastwood, but you ask anybody that's ever worked...
Yes. They love working for Eastwood.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited for this. I think it would be... huge for DC and Warner Brothers to do this. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I think Warner Brothers is going to feel the heat.
This would be I think it'll pass.
You think?
Yeah, I really do, because a lot of the people who are fans of these movies probably don't remember that happening anyway. You have a lot of more. Okay, so where was all the people complaining and griping about Mel doing Hacksaw Ridge? Okay, Hacksaw Ridge, if you're not familiar with the storyline out there, is about a guy who was a conscientious objector. He was a Seventh-day Adventist. He did not believe in picking up a weapon or holding a weapon for anything whatsoever, but yet he still went to the Army. They finally said, okay, if you want to fight, go ahead. And then the guy ends up saving like 100 people. Okay, he was a combat medic, and he ended up saving like 100 people during World War II at Hacksaw Ridge. I mean, by himself. He got injured twice while he was saving these people. He got shot 2 different times. Okay, this was a real dude. And this is something that he put something on film and showed people. It's in that same aspect as like Sergeant York, Alvin C. York. He was a conscientious objector who ended up going, and then he became a hero. Well, this guy wasn't marketed as any hero, but he did win the Congressional Medal of Honor and 2 Purple Hearts for his actions at Hacksaw Ridge. And where was everybody griping about that? Oh, well, we don't want that anti-Semite, directing something about a great American hero. You never heard it. But, oh, Lord, he's going to direct a comic book movie that was a subpar comic book movie that made a lot of money. Yeah. And he might actually make it better because, he's actually good at his job. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be awesome for... Look, you've got the possibility of Matt Reeves and Mel Gibson, one up-and-comer and one established director. There's 2... people to carry you into the future of your Warner Brothers, but really it's all to be continued. And you know what? As much as we love Matt Reeves, a month from now we could be talking about why Matt Reeves dropped out of the project.
Well, if he ends up dropping out of this, then we know there's definitely a major problem.
Oh yeah,
at Warner Brothers, and we might as well just give it up.
I know. I'm just gonna have to get Marvel shirts from now on. If Matt Reeves drops.
Can Marvel buy? Since Disney owns you, can Marvel buy DC now from Warner Brothers?
Oh, that is so great, man.
And let Jeff Johns, just go over out to the dark side, and say, you know what, heck with it.
That would be so amazing, and then we'd finally get good superhero movies.
Yeah, I mean, would they? But like I've always
said.
DC. Is anything that Marvel makes great? Not really. I think the best one still to date is Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I am excited to see what they do. The same guy.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Or not Civil War, but I meant Winter Soldier. That's still the best Marvel.
Yeah, the Russo brothers.
Yes.
And this past week, Robert Downey Jr. did a live thing on the set of... oh gosh,
Pinewood Studios of Avengers.
Infinity War. Thank you. Sorry, I had brain fart there. And man, it was so cool. It was so very surreal because they even released a little video with Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, and the one Tom Holland. So cool because Marvel gets it, and it makes you excited and. Man, that's going to be so amazing and awesome.
It's like, where's our trailer for Justice League?
I know.
I know it's only February. It comes out in November. But why haven't we seen a trailer for Justice League? We've seen a trailer for Spider-Man. We saw it months ago. Okay, 2 or 3, 4 months ago. It comes out, May? I mean, it's like May or June, and it's or maybe even July. I don't know exactly. I mean, it comes out soon. And it's not on the horizon, but it's in the next few months. Yeah. I mean, they're already selling the toys. I was walking through the toy aisle the other day,
I'll have to get me a Tom Holland Spider-Man. That'd be cool. Hopefully they do it right. Boy, toys suck now, though, that they sell in the stores. You really have to go online if you want to find a good toy. And pay freaking $100, $200.
Well, that's why I don't have it.
Yeah. Anyways, to get back to what we were talking about, I hope it's good things coming for DC. Yeah, we're DC fanboys on here, so it's okay to say that. And but we're excited. I mean, look, we're superhero fanboys, and so we're excited for Marvel and the Avengers as well. So moving on, I mentioned this before we got on here. I don't know the guy, but it looks like Black Adam and Shazam is possibly got a director coming up. David Sandberg, who did a movie called Lights Out. He's in talks with with DC and Warner Brothers about directing both those movies. So let me ask you something. Are you a little aggravated that they're going to do Black Adam before Shazam?
Absolutely. I mean, they're catering to The Rock.
Yes.
Which I get that, But I mean, it's like, really? David Sandberg. You know what he did? And you've ever seen this before? Kung Fury. You remember that came out like a year ago?
Are you serious?
Yes, that little short film that was like set in like the 80s.
He did that?
Yes, that's what I was trying to figure out. What is he famous for? Kung Fury. But
wow, I looked that up
if you've never seen it, it's on YouTube.
It's amazing.
It's the greatest crappy movie you've ever seen.
It really is mind blowing. Like I watched it on Netflix, and while Nicole was at work,
it's on Netflix now. That's right. Yeah,
and I was like, I just finished watching this, but you have to watch. We've got to watch this together because your mind's going to be blown.
Oh, it premiered on YouTube.
It's amazing.
I mean, that's how he got it out there. He's from Sweden. It says so. Obviously,
wow, that'd be
David
awesome.
Sandberg can't be his real name. I mean, that's weird.
Okay, so back to Shazam and Black Adam. That's so cool. I'm glad you looked that up real quick. I'm really frustrated and aggravated because I love Shazam. I want to see that movie first, personally, because it's one of my favorite comic books, and I'm so aggravated that they're catering to The Rock.
But I don't get it. I mean, why didn't you just make The Rock Shazam then?
Exactly.
I mean, I know The Rock is ethnic, but he's not really black. He's Samoan. I mean, there's two totally different things. And, of course, in the comic books, Black Adam is a black man. Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's just...
a lot of people don't get that either. I mean, The Rock is not black, guys. He's Samoan.
Yeah.
And let's don't forget that. His father was a famous Samoan wrestler.
Yep. Rocky
Mashiharo or something like that. I mean, it was something weird like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But, here's the thing. I like The Rock. I like the stuff that he does. I'm just frustrated that Black Adam, who's like this little mini villain in the DC universe.
Yeah, he's insignificant almost.
Yeah, he's getting pushed before Shazam, and that's so frustrating. And even like The Rock a couple months ago did this meeting with DC to find out where they stand on everything. I'm like, oh, so like, what is he? Is he not happy with what's going on? And so he needs to be patted on the back and like, no, we're gonna get you everything that you want for your character. And I'm like,
personally, I think it would be smarter in the 21st century for him to play Shazam, okay, to play Captain Marvel or whatever they call him now. I guess it's because now Captain Marvel is with Marvel that he's just Shazam.
Right.
It wasn't just the magic word, Mm-hmm. He is actually Shazam because you can take a younger, ethnic, of color actor, because, Shazam is a young boy, a 13-year-old kid or something, who says Shazam and becomes this big superhero, and he becomes The Rock. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a problem with them changing the character bio on that much. I think it'd be smarter for them as for publicity, and to do that.
How do you even start with Black Adam before the Shazam?
I mean, I don't know, because do you know who Black Adam is? It's like Black Adam. Okay, it's like I saw some other day. There's going to be a new TV show from Warner Brothers, and DC called Black Lightning. I've never heard of it.
No idea.
Never heard of it.
Well, me neither. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. But that being said, a couple things I wanted to throw out there to you real quick, Joey. Logan reviews are coming through, and apparently it is amazing and awesome and violent is definitely the word that's used.
I love the good rated R bloodfest.
For the reviews for Logan. I seen it the other day, which I'm going to get to the Lego Batman movie in a few minutes. I seen the poster at the Highland, and man, it's just so gritty and awesome. I shared it on the Facebook page. But man, I'm just so excited for this movie. This is like, I'm Batman versus Superman excited for this movie, I believe.
I'm not quite that side.
I'm saying it because I need something right now that's really got potential.
I am looking forward to it. I will go opening weekend. I'll probably go like that Thursday night like I always do.
Yeah. I think it's probably definitely a Thursday night thing. But that being said, also I seen a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger trailer movie. Did you ever watch that? I never watched it.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, it was starting to come along. But by then, I was already out of that. I mean, I was, 12, 13, 14 years old. I didn't really watch the Power Rangers. I remember watching
I didn't
it.
either.
I still didn't like it because, again, I grew up watching Voltron. And all they did was take
that's
Voltron
the reason I didn't watch it.
Power Rangers. And I'm like, and I mean, it's like I see the new movie, okay? And I've seen
it looks good. The trailer looks good.
It looks amazing. And I'm like, why haven't we made a Voltron movie? Which I hear is back on it's off the back burner. It's back on the forefront again. They're actually.
But now if you're doing it, you're going, oh, this isn't as good as
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's what everybody's going to think. They're going to think, oh, well, this is just a ripoff of the Power Rangers.
People have no idea how amazing Voltron is because of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I need to get in the movie business, man. I really do. If I ever hit the jackpot, I would just move to California and I would just become a producer, and I'm going to make movies that are awesome that we would like.
If you ever hit the jackpot, see
you're moving with me.
Let's see if we can put our money together and buy Warner Brothers.
Well, we're probably not going to have that kind of money.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell. I wanted to throw this out there. Me, Nicole, and the boys went and seen Lego Batman movie the other night, and it was awesome and great. Will Arnett doing the voice of Batman. But I thought of going into it. I knew what to expect because I love the Lego movie. I didn't know if you've seen that yet.
Right.
It's really, really good. You think that in your mind, you go, okay, this is going to be a 13 to 15-year-old and under kind of thing. No, it's not, man. Like, if you're a comic book fan, go watch Lego Batman movie.
Oh, I've heard great things about it, man. They say it's excellent.
It's really good, but I want to share something, and I know this is kind of throwing something out there in the movie, but I had to share this with you because this is really interesting that they did this. So Batman, when he gets in the Batcave, he has a password that he has to use before he can access things or whatever. And the password is, Iron Man sucks.
That's awesome. Iron Man sucks.
That's what he says. I was like, ooh, they just threw a punch. Yeah. And that was awesome, man. They were the first one to kind of.
Always said Iron Man is just a poor man's Batman. I mean, a rich guy who wants to become a superhero has no superpower, but he has all the money to buy all the toys.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. But I definitely recommend the Lego Batman movie. Jesse from Canada and Geektown had texted me a couple nights before and said, hey, if you get a chance, go watch it. And I said, yeah, we actually were going to watch it. And he said he laughed the whole first hour. And I was like, I don't know. That's kind of pushing it in my head. I was thinking, but man, we went and seen it. And it was, I think you would really like the movie, Joey. So, but definitely recommend the Lego Batman movie. Go check that out. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, Joey? Or
I watched Legion again.
Still strong.
Still strong, man. I
still haven't watched the first episode. I know
it's pretty cool, man. It's a cool show. I mean, it's hard to describe, and it's hard for me to tell you because I wouldn't want to.
I know. I need to watch
spoil
it.
Anything, but
I need to watch it.
Man, I mean, I think it's just going to get better every week.
Are the effects pretty cool on it? Have they kind of thrown some effects out there?
There's effects in it, but it's not like crazy effects. It's not like spending a ton of money on all this CGI, but when they do it, it's good.
Okay.
But it's more of a character study.
That's good.
About how this guy who has these telekinetic abilities and he's kind of like a crazy Professor X.
Mm.
He's a mixture of like Professor X and Jean Grey. That's who David Haller is, okay? Mm. He's got the abilities of Jean Grey, being able to move stuff with her mind and have all these great powers. But he can also hear people. He's like as powerful as Professor X. And of course, just to reiterate from last week, he's the son of Charles Xavier, Professor X. And of course, he doesn't know that right now. He's went through his whole life, people telling him he's schizophrenic because he hears voices in his head. But now he's at this compound called Summerland, I think is what it's called. And there's this lady who's like a doctor, and she might be a mutant too. She might not. I don't know. I don't even know when this thing's set, man. It's like, what the heck is going on because of the different costumes and the different time. It looks like it's in the 60s, and it looks like it's in the 2020, and I don't know. I mean, it's like it just keeps you guessing, and I guess that's the whole point. If you ever watch Gotham, what you did, you know how Gotham has modern things,
Right,
and it has stuff
yeah.
from the 80s, and I mean, they drive vehicles from the 80s,
Yeah.
but they'll have late 90s model cell phones, but then all the TVs are like from the 70s or 80s, I mean, it never has like this one particular feel. It's kind of like that, except more in a psychedelic way. Like maybe I should like do some LSD and trip some acid or something, which I don't. But I mean, I'm wondering is that what they're really going for? Is to have sort of that psychedelic feel to this, because he's so not right in the head because he's never been trained to control his powers.
You said Bryan Singer does produce this, right?
Brian Singer, Laura Schuler Donner, Jeff Loeb.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like I was watching it yesterday evening. Last night I watched it. It recorded Wednesday, but comes on at 9 on FX. By the way, I'll give another shout out to it. Record it. It's worth it. But I watched it last night, and yeah, I mean, it's just like everybody from that does the X-Men movies is doing this show. I mean, that's who's doing it. And they don't have a lot of crazy characters, I mean, he's got a girlfriend who sort of has like these rogue abilities, where if she touches you, you will actually switch bodies with her, and she'll become you and you become her.
Wow, that's weird. But
like in your head, in your mind, you're still you, but you look like her. So he can't touch her or nothing, but yet they have like this, it's like he said last night, we'll just have a romance of the mind, because he can't touch her or kiss her or nothing like that.
A romance of the mind.
And that's kind of how he said it, we'll just have a romance of the mind. And she goes, ooh, I like that, but I mean, it's a very well-written show, and the guy who's playing it, man, he is knocking it out of the park, in my opinion.
Okay. I need to watch it. I just forgot this week. I really did. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see it. You make me want to see it, so that's a good thing. But
I'm excited because I've never been big on the X-Men movies, period.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Especially the old
them.
ones. The old ones, I didn't like them that much.
I don't like X3, but I love X1 and 2.
X2 is the best one still to date, in my opinion.
I agree
X1,
with that.
I didn't like it because I didn't like the way it looked.
Yeah, and I don't like Wolvie's hair in it. He looks like an idiot.
But it's like they've taken this really intriguing, unknown character from the X-Men universe, and they're making a really awesome show. And it's like, this is how you're supposed to do it.
So is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still
okay, now.
Just because, like I said, Legion's never going to be the type of show that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was ever meant to be.
Yeah.
Or it was meant to be. And it is. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, if you like Marvel Universe and you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then you know what's going on in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
The little behind-the-scenes things.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones taking care of that. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is behind the scenes. I mean, they just now, recently on the show, came back into the limelight as being there again.
Yeah.
The S.H.I.E.L.D. is back, so I mean, and that show, man, let me tell you something. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the LMD storyline, Ghost Rider storyline was good, and I thought this LMD storyline, I don't know, man, let me tell you, this is the best storyline they've ever done. I mean, now going into this week's episode, I'm like so excited for next Tuesday to see what they do with it. It's like, because
Joey's fangirling right now.
I am. I'm fangirling. I mean, it's like I'm blushing, but I mean, it's like, yes, they finally get it. They get how to write a good show with interesting storylines. They have good characters. It's a little poppy, it really is. It's not real dark and gritty, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be because Marvel isn't anyway.
Right. Well, wow, we got, we're doing pretty good. We're only at 42 minutes right now.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. So, before we get going, guys, thank you so much for your support that you continue. It's good. I'm glad we got to do this again the second week in a row, and hopefully we can continue to do this. I know we're both really excited for Logan. So we can't wait to review that and get to you guys about that. We got Walking Dead coming up this weekend again. Other than that, make sure you check out Countdown to Geek Town over on iTunes and on Facebook as well. And is there anything you want to add, Joey?
Hey guys, just get out and enjoy the weekend. Even though it sucks, it's gonna be like 70 degrees in February. Yeah. I thought I'd move to Florida today. I was like, I'm living in like Orlando or something. But yeah, get out, enjoy the weekend. Heck, if we're not gonna have a winter, we might as well enjoy the
Exactly.
And don't let life get you down, guys. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world and in our country, and so.
Yeah.
I
just avoid it. I just stick to my nerd stuff.
Well, I don't avoid it. I mean, I read about it, but you can't let it get you down. I mean, things will work out for the best in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. Good words of advice there from Joey to get you on into the weekend here. Without further ado, then, I guess I'll start to wrap it up. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Joey.
With our romantic minds together.
Guys, thank you so much. Share with your friends. And you know what? Thanks for listening. And Anthony, it's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure with you too, Joey. That didn't sound right. I'm sorry.
No,
All right.
Anyway.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Stay nerdy, guys.